Hey everyone, this is Jay, the Brown Conservative, and I just had to bring this article to your attention so all of you know what's going on in Canada, especially in regards to federal politics and how they're going to be attempting to possibly lighten the sentence for people with HIV who decide to have intimate relations with others without disclosing their HIV status. So let me read through this article and I'll probably have some comments as we go through. So you can just see the top header right now, Liberals to launch consultation on criminal justice response to HIV non-disclosure. The Liberal government plans to launch consultations this October on the criminal justice system's response to HIV non-disclosure. Justice Minister David Lametti made the commitment as he met interested parties this week in the lead-up to the International AIDS Conference in Montreal on the weekend. The consultations will seek input on how to modernize the criminal justice system's response to the non-disclosure of HIV status in light of growing scientific evidence related to the risk of sexual transmission of HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. As the law is currently written, people who do not disclose their HIV status before having sex can be prosecuted for aggravated sexual assault, the most serious type of sexual offense in the criminal code, even in cases where there is little to no possibility of transmission, no intent to transmit, and no actual transmission. I'm going to stop right there because I don't see a problem with the way it's written right now if this is how it's written. If you have HIV or a non-curable STD, you should be fully obligated, in my opinion, to notify any potential partners before any intimacy takes place, because that other person should also have a say in whether or not they want to take on that risk. So if this is the way the law is actually written, I don't have any problem with it, but let's see what they are trying to do to it. The way the law is enforced is extremely punitive and overbroad, says India Anamenthadu, a policy analyst with the HIV Legal Network, noting advocates are aware of more than 200 cases being prosecuted since 1989. Again, I'm not sure what the problem is if these people are having intercourse or intimate relations with their partners and not notifying them. Anna Minthadu said in an interview that the consultation is a good first step by the federal government, but it is not enough. We need to act swiftly and urgently, she said, so what we're hoping is that this consultation is not going to be something that's protracted, but rather something that leads to swift legislative reform. The Canadian Coalition to Reform HIV Criminalization, of which the HIV Legal Network is a part, said in a statement Wednesday that the government must recognize we are not starting from scratch. Over the last 5 years, the coalition has conducted 2 national consultations with the HIV community and has identified consensus recommendations for the government to follow. Again, before I go any further, I'd be curious to know if they're having consultations with the non-HIV community to see what they feel about this and how they like these possible changes being made. But we'll go further. After the first consultation resulted in a consensus statement in 2017, Justice Canada referred publicly to the over-criminalization of HIV, and 2 years later, the House of Commons Justice Committee concluded that the application of criminal law in such cases should be narrowed. Again, don't tell me it needs to be narrowed. Tell me why you guys are deciding that this should be narrowed. I don't want to know the end result. I want to know the work, the questions, and the considerations that brought you to this point. But successive Liberal justice ministers have made no specific commitments. The coalition's specific legislative recommendations, based on its second consultation, will be outlined in a policy statement it intends to release on Friday as the International AIDS Conference gets underway. Canada has the dubious reputation of hosting that conference while it remains a global leader in HIV criminalization, as Anna Menthadu puts it, with prosecutions disproportionately affecting Black, Indigenous, and LGBTQ Canadians. Now, how are we a global leader in HIV criminalization? As far as I know, and I've lived here my whole life, having HIV is not a crime. Having sex with HIV is not a crime unless you withhold that information from your partner. I'm not sure how we are a global leader in HIV criminalization. I would love this person to be able to put my argument to rest or let me know what they're thinking by calling it that. Another thing it says here is prosecutions disproportionately affect Black, Indigenous, and LGBTQ Canadians. I'm not sure how HIV non-disclosure to an intimate partner disproportionately affects any sector of society, Black, Indigenous, LGBTQ, or other. The fact of the matter remains is right now, under the current law, if you decide to sleep with somebody and not notify them that you have HIV, then you should be prosecuted, or you will be prosecuted, and that has nothing to do with the color of your skin, if you're a Native Indian, or if you're gay. If a straight male or a straight female has HIV and has intimate relations without disclosing that information, they will also be prosecuted, or should be, the exact same way that anyone else from these marginalized communities should be. So this makes no sense, but again, with our current left-wing government and the socialists trying to take over our country, they have to find a way to make everything be about disproportionately affecting somebody in a marginalized community. And this is just complete garbage. It's not true. If you have HIV and you're intimate without disclosing, again, you should be prosecuted. I don't care what your sexual ideology is or what the color of your skin is. Anyways, enough of my rant. The government did not set out a timeline for the consultation beyond stating they will begin in October, adding that more information would be available in the coming weeks. So essentially, what's happening here is they're going to be looking to have some look at certain scientific evidence related to the sexual risk of transmission of HIV, and they're going to be trying to change the law so that if someone with HIV sleeps with another person and they have a low viral load, that they do not actually have to disclose to that person that they have HIV at all. This is, like I said, is absolutely insane. They said earlier on here, they said that they were getting ready to do a second consultation. Here's my problem with that. There is, according to the epidemiology of HIV in Canada, according to this site here, they are stating that there is 62,050 Canadians living with HIV as of 2018. So that number could have changed. Now, that being said, there's 38 million people in Canada. So that's 62,000 HIV infected part of our population makes up a grand total of 0.16% of the Canadian population, if I have my math right. Not a strong point. My question is, why are they having consultations with the HIV community that makes up 0.16% of the population, but they are not having consultations or don't want to speak to them about the other 99% or 99.85%, because it would seem to me that the much bigger issue would see how the person on the other end of that spectrum would feel. The person who Justice Minister Lametti is likely going to tell, you don't get to know that your partner has HIV. The non-HIV percentage of the population is insanely larger and will stay that way. And it would be very derelict of this government to actually try to impose this on people. It's absolutely insane. There's not really a hell of a lot more I can say about it. I know this has been a bit of a rant, but I felt I had to actually put this out there so that everyone knows what's going on, because I'm worried that not a lot of people look at this stuff, not a lot of people are aware of what's going on here, and don't have a particular bent to the news, let's say. And I'm terrified that this is going to pass without anyone knowing what happened until it's too late. So if you're in Canada, tell everyone you know, and I hope this doesn't. I hope this doesn't go through, and I hope the laws stay just as they are. Anyways, everyone, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.